Chapter 1. Title: Reborn in a World of Hunters. Dying is a new feeling of anger for me. I was about to go to college for engineering with a scholarship. I had it all planned out for college. I was going to make some connections there, knowing some people getting the best grades and using those people that I made connections with to get a good job, and then I will plan to go higher and higher until I touch the sky. I had plans to get rich quick. I even had a family, the family that gave up a lot for me. They needed me and I just had to go and die. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Then I feel something weird and look around the void, and I turn around and see an eye as gigantic as a mountain. I am not going to lie, I am scared. I just kept walking backward away from it as fast and as stealthily as I can. Then as I am doing so, I keep looking at the darkness thing with just an eye, and I see a gigantic mouth open. I can't even see its end, just rows and rows of sharp teeth. Then a lot of tongues come out of the mouth and towards me. I immediately turn around and run in darkness or whatever. I don't even look at what I am stepping in. I keep running and running and running. I don't know how long I have been running, but I see a circle made of light about my size in front of me, so I directly jump into it and then I lose consciousness. The next time I wake up, I see a bright light in front of my face and hear someone or something say, "It's a boy, Miss Miller." Then I feel someone grabbing me. My baby boy. Ah, I get it now. After I hear that, I immediately start crying as I have assessed the situation. Then I hear someone with a hard manly voice say, my son, are you okay, honey?" Then the voice. I hear the womanly voice from before talking in an ushered tone answer. Yes, just stop screaming, you are making the baby cry." Time skip, 6 months later. After being here for some months. Life is really boring. I was born in Doll Harbor in 1969. I don't know where I am, but I am in the past, so that means a lot of money making opportunities waiting for me. By the way, my name is Jax Miller and my parents' names are Jerry Miller, 41 years old, black hair and eyes, and good looking man that works in a loan bank. Beth Miller, 28 years old, brown hair and brown eyes with a pretty face. Yeah, I know, quite the age difference there. And there is me. I seem like I am going to be good looking with black hair and brown eyes with a baby face? I don't know, to me babies just look almost all the same. Time skip, age 1 years old. Okay, red alert, I just heard father say something bizarre. He was talking to me about hunters. At first I didn't think anything special. But he said that when he was younger he wanted to be a hunter or whatever. I was only half listening, but when I asked about specifically why he wanted to be a hunter when he earns more money and easier as a lone man. But then he started explaining hunter adventures and stories, types of them, like blacklist hunters, gourmet hunters, etc. I almost went full panic mode, but I pushed it at the back of my mind and forced myself to calm down. Then as soon as nighttime came, I went into bed and I started practicing meditation. Well then, an extreme change of plans must come about. I must meditate to start my training now. I am in the world of Hunter x Hunter. Age 2 years old. I keep meditating, but I still haven't awakened mine yet. I am kind of disappointed that I don't have the kind of talent the MCs do, but I still keep trying, not giving up. After all, I have patience, because I am born way before the main characters. I now started to run around Doll Harbor to get to know things around, but mainly for me to exercise my body. Of course I don't go into shady, easy to get kidnapped alleys and areas. I always run during daylight, and when there is at least a dozen people around. Age 3 years old. Yes, I got my NEN. I feel the warm mucus feeling around me. Then I am even able to naturally close my nodes from leaking any aura until I can cover myself in it and not let any go away. Age 4 years old. I keep training 10. The hard work I have to put through just because I don't have the talent. Well then anyway, I now have control over 10 and I still keep training my body. I now even go and help the people around carrying their stuff. And keep acting like a kid. I am thinking after getting a bit stronger I will run away from home and go train somewhere. I won't really miss my new parents. I was never really connect with them, after all I did possess their baby, and if they knew they would kill or torture me. Even so, the only people I will ever truly love are my family in my last world, but at least they are safe in that one. I also learned how to read and started convincing my father to buy me medical books. I gave him a reason, because I want to become a doctor to save people. He reluctantly did so. Age 5 years old. I have now started training Zetsu to suppress my aura to hide from other non-users. I still train my body. Now that I am ready to find out my category of nin. I didn't try it sooner because it would have been useless to me with my talent, it would have only got me distracted. I am in my room and ready to do so. I put down a glass of water with a leaf on top and I then run some nin through it. Then. Chapter 2. Title: My nin category is. The leaf started rotating a little. Ah, I see, so I am a manipulator. Well, that is quite good. It's not that bad of an nin category, because every one of them has their uniqueness and strengths. Manipulator, what can I do with that? I have a basic idea on my Hatsu, but it would take my lifespan to get it completed because of my lack of talent or nin amount. Anyway, instead of wasting my lifespan, I will just try to train to my maximum capacity, that when I create that ability it wouldn't take much of my lifespan or none at all. I will wait until I am 20, then I will create my Hatsu. I will have plenty of power and by then, I hope. Plus with 10 slowing down aging but not slowing down growth, I think I will be okay then. But I really don't want to waste lifespan on this ability, after all. I am not like a selfless shounen character that will sacrifice things like this. But the time until I create my ability will help me think of some more things to add to it, or maybe put some conditions on it to make it easier to create and stronger. Age 6 years old. My body is getting stronger. I have started going to the wild to train after I learned Ren to enhance my physical ability. Well, not really the wild, just the forests outside the city. I am still studying the basics of Nen. I have also started studying some simple medical books. After all, I am going to become a doctor in this world and then take the hunter exam. I have some big plans after my hunter exam. Age 7 years old. I still am just training the basic Nen techniques in my body. I am going to school now. I usually just train Zetsu in school and other techniques at other times, at least this time school is easy. I also made a lot of friends that do things for me, mostly a smart student. I make him do my homework, after all I already know these things that we are learning, so it's just a waste of time. I keep studying medicines and training my body in the wild. I have also been reading some animal books to learn about some animals in this world, then that gave me an idea. I have been killing some animals without my parents knowing and selling them in the harbor to buyers. Of course I was disguised in a cloak. I earned a lot of money like this, about 100.000 Jenny, which is around $1,000. Of course this was not won by just selling animals earnestly, it was by selling rare looking animals which were not rare, to stupid buyers, and always coming only once a month at different intervals to sell people fake animals and come the other times in another disguise to sell normal animals that I catch in a day. Age 8 years old. I have stopped selling fake animals because someone might come after me. So this year I won only 40.000 Jenny. I have also spent 10.000 buying 4 medical books I needed. I have also been telling my mother that I have been sleeping in one of my friend's houses and having a sleepover, when in reality I am sleeping in the forest with a rope on a branch tied to a rock on one side and in the other is me holding it with my hand while sleeping. This is an exercise from the anime, so I am trying to learn it. Well, I learned that pretty fast, so I didn't have to tell my parents new excuses why I am not sleeping at home. I skipped some grades also when I told my parents school is too easy, boring and not a challenge, and I want to skip it. I have been training my body a lot. My strength, especially by rolling a lot of rocks that are up to my knee. I would try for more, but I really don't want to hurt my young body yet. I even started learning Gyo, which is putting Nen towards my eyes to see Nen better and see things hidden within. It was quite hard learning and keeping my Nen concentrated on my eyes, but hey, at least I can now use it. I still keep training the basics. Aw damn it, why don't I have talent like Gon or Killua? I would have already been strong if I had that. By the way, I need to think of a way to make more money now that I have Gyo. There could be a way to earn money. Age 9 years old. I still keep practicing the basic Nen abilities and Gyo, which I can now use, sparingly. My AA on my talent is HxT. It's not even funny at how average it is. If I was born in the same generation as the MCs, I would just go to a quiet place far from the conflict and stay in isolation until I get mine and mastered. Which by then I wouldn't even know what happened. I now keep pushing boulders as big as my childish body. I keep going towards the market to find anything good, but all I find is trash, nothing with Nen in it. I even quit hunting, it's just a waste of time for way too little amount of money. Time skip. Age 10 years old. Now I am doing pull-ups with rope tied to my feet with a small boulder tied on the other side. I do push-ups with boulders half as big as me on my back. I still train the basics and Gyo a lot. You know, this is getting kind of annoying when I remember how the MCs got it so easily. Gyo is getting better. I am now able to keep it up kind of stable for about 1 minute. Did I already complain today about my super average talent? I keep studying medicine and I skipped a bunch of grades and went directly to high school. People around town know me as a helpful and genius young man. And my parents are really proud of me. I don't really care about any of that. I just want to train my Nen. Chapter 3. Title, Meeting a Canon Character. Time skip, age 15. I have gotten quite stronger since last time. Normal people can no longer be compared to me. I have trained my body quite hard, my Nen amount is now larger than before. I haven't seen any hunter around to compare it to. In the next years to come, I am going to keep a lookout for them. I am now in university studying medicine away from my hometown. I am known quite a bit in this field and am known by some important people. Even though I keep training and I have started to feel the limit of my talent, it's getting harder and harder to get stronger. I would need years and years to progress even a bit. I look at my hands and I make them into a fist. I just need to wait 5 more years to get everything in order for me to make my Hatsu. I have everything about my ability figured out, but I need to be a little stronger to not use lifespan and have less conditions on it. Time skip 3 years later. MCH, 18 years old. As I was reading on the library after I finished some body training, I was tired, so I decided to rest here and read. While doing so, I then hear a professor that teaches about diseases and viruses talking with someone else and walking towards me. I then give a side glance towards him and then my eyes widen immediately. He is not even in my radar anymore. What I am concentrated on is the person next to him. She is a bespectacled woman of average height with seafoam green haircut, at medium length. She wears a headdress that has a pair of dog-like ears, a conservative, knee-length white dress and a white caplet with a cross at the front of the neck. Her upper jaw and nose also look like those of a dog. She is a younger HolyJoker, the woman who will become the future chairman of the Hunter Association. Then as they are walking towards me, the teacher points at me and says in a proud voice, "He is our brightest student, his name is Jax Miller. He has been here since he was 15. He is truly amazing, he is smart and a hard worker." Then they are in front of my table. I look towards them. Then the teacher smiles towards me and he says, "Jax, this is a disease hunter and a famous one at that, her name is HolyJoker." I look at her with a serious face. It wouldn't be smart to lie or act in front of her because she will definitely be able to tell. Even though she is younger now, she was able to tell when one of the most scheming people in Hunter x Hunter is not telling the truth. She just looks at me, she smiles a little and she says, Hey there, my name is HxH. Have you ever thought of taking the hunter exam? I can see that you are special. I just look towards her and am about to say something, but I am interrupted by the teacher, who in a panicked voice says, No, miss. Yorkshire, Jax is a good student and is going to be a miraculous doctor. But I have heard that the hunter exam is physically taxing and I don't think that he is ready or suited for it. She just looks at him and says in a mysterious tone, I think that he is stronger than you give him credit for. Professor. She is. Right. I still keep training myself extensively every day. Then she completely ignores him and keeps staring at me intensely. Then I just say to her in a normal voice. Sigh, yes, I have thought about it, but I am not ready yet. I am first thinking of finishing medical school, getting some medical experience, then I will become a hunter. She just looks at me, turns around and starts walking away while she says, okay, then I will be waiting for you to become a hunter. Notify me when you do become one. I could teach you more about your uniqueness. I can immediately guess what she is thinking. She probably thought I was an ingenious. They are those that use Nen unconsciously. She probably didn't take me as her student and teach me Nen immediately because she probably wants to follow the rules to keep Nen hidden. She probably also thinks that Nen might distract me from my medical studies. And she thought that she might be able to entice me to take the hunter exam earlier for me to learn about my uniqueness. I already know about Nen and no way am I learning from someone who can tell when I am lying or not. I need to disappear for a little then. I will apply for graduation immediately. I don't want her following me. Time skip 2 years later. Jax's age, 20. I look at the trees around me and I can't help but reminisce a little. After that meeting with Cheadle, I graduated that year and went to the Heavens Arena. I got until the 199th floor, got the money I won and left immediately. I won 200.000.000 Jenny. I also did some procedures to raise my poison and electricity immunity. It was very painful and harsh, but I know I will need it. My resistance is still not at Zorlitic family level, but if they had a 10 resistance, I have around 7. I also know that the guide for this year's hunter exam is in Zaban City, which is close to Doll Harbor. I also now have a way to compare my strength now that I have seen some fights from the 200th floor. I would have competed to become floor master and I might have been able to become one with some luck and by crushing some beginners in the 200th floor, but if I met any strong freaks like Hisoka, I would be crippled or dead. Now that I am back in my hometown to make mine an ability, I think back on my struggles. If I trained another 10 to 15 years, I would be a lot stronger than this and I might reach my absolute limit by then. But I don't have time like that. In 10 years, Canon will start. And the only advanced Nen technique I know is Gyo, because I am just going to be wasting time if I try to learn the others. With my talent I can hold Ren active for 1 hour and the MCs could do it for 3 hours with only a minuscule amount of training compared to me. Not only would it be hard and time consuming, knowing those abilities won't even help me create my HxH ability. Then I go into the forest and use my Ren. A gentle white rippling aura comes out. I then put my hand forward facing the sky and think about my ability and say to myself, my Nen, expend yourself and give the ability. Chapter 4. Title, my HxH special ability is Fwosh. Mine concentrates in my hand as if it is all being sucked into it. Then a tablet appears on my hand. I stop my Ren and go to 10, which I keep always active to slow down my aging. By the way, I have a face that looks like a 16-year-old, but I am taller than the average one. I'm 1.85 meters, 6'1", with black hair and brown eyes with a good-looking face and a pair of glasses. I don't really need the glasses, but it puts my opponents off guard sometimes and they think I don't have a strong body. Well, anyways, mine ability is HxH Gamer Body and Soul Control, an ability to grow physical stats, an amount and talent with EXP from killing living organisms. The stronger the organism, the more EXP I get. Asterisk, physical abilities do not degrade from not training. Condition 1. The organisms must have their Nen open or be at least as strong as the average hunter physically to get EXP from them. 2. Can't take EXP from an organism that is killed by someone else. 3. After you kill them, you must touch their body with your right hand while having the tablet in the other hand, then the body will become sparkles of light and enter the tablet to become EXP. 4. After I upgrade mine an amount or talent in my status page, I can't use Nen for 1 day. 5. Physical training gives EXP directly to the stat that is being trained until it gets to the next level. It won't get a rise in power. No matter, even if the stat is 1 EXP away from leveling up, X, LVL 4, 49/50 EXP, it will still be the same power as being only 0 EXP in that level, X, LVL 4, 0/50 EXP. That is my HxH. Finally. Ha 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 ha. Then I immediately force myself to calm down and look at my tablet. There is one app in it called Status and I click on it and I see my attributes. Jax Miller. Age, 20. Talent, 50/100 EXP. EXP, 0. STRLVL, 54/100 EXP. AGI LVL, 52/100 EXP. End LVL, 59/100 EXP. Nen amount LVL, 542/100 EXP. The status represent with LVL of certain stats. Stats are ranked like this. LVL power. 1. Normal baby. 2. Normal teen. 3. Normal adult. 4. Trained human. 5. Normal Nen-user/hunter. 6. Strong Nen-user/strong hunter. 7. Phantom troop Nen-user. 8. Krollo, Zorlitic LVL. 9. Royal Guard level. 10. King level/Mirror. That is just a general way of ranking, stats aren't everything. For example, just because a Phantom Troop member has stats lower or higher than 7 doesn't matter. What is used to calculate this is that they have one stat or maybe two stats at 7 and the others one number lower, or even two numbers if they have a rare Hatsu. For example, Yuvajin probably has 7 strength, 7 endurance, and 6 agility. While Phaeton has 6 strength, 6 endurance, and he has 7 agility. But of course battles aren't dependent completely on stats. I think Phaeton would defeat Yuvajin in battle because of his special ability. Which is, the more he is hurt the more heat produces, his Rising Sun ability. Well, anyways, the most important part of my ability is the ability to raise talent. Also, if I raise talent I will become more talented just in Nin, but in other things like cooking, driving, etc. Obviously normal people have talent in some things and no talent in other things, but my talent is universal. Of course, no matter how talented you are, you need some foundational knowledge on the subject. Mine is at 5, which is average. I have made the level 10 of talent be like Gon's talent of Nin. I believe Miruem had more than 10 in talent, especially with his Devour type special Nin ability. Also, no manipulators will be able to control me. Because for manipulators it's the early bird gets the worm, so technically I am already controlled by my own ability, so it won't work. I am also planning on taking the hunter exam this year. I then kept looking around the forest to make sure no one came here when I was doing my Hatsu creation. Then after making sure, I immediately take out my phone and call someone. Praying. Then a voice which I can't even tell the gender of comes through the line. Who are you? When I hear this I just calmly answer. Hey Zed, I need some info. Then the voice comes back more clearly this time and it is easily identified as a man, and he says. Sure man, what do you need? I just ask him in a calm voice. When and where is the hunter exam? I hear him ruffle through something and then say. Sure man, just. He then starts explaining the info and giving me all the details that I need to know, even some passwords, etc. Zed is a guy I met during my stay in Heaven's Arena. He is an information broker, but he doesn't have Nin, but he is good at getting information. Anyway, after some time I end the call and wire him a million Jenny. Well then, time to take the hunter exam. My journey finally starts. Chapter 5. Title, Hunter Exam. -2 days after Hatsu initiation. I am currently outside of a huge skyscraper. I am wearing a black suit with hidden blades inside it, even a gun, and I also have a black briefcase in my hand, and I am also wearing my usual fake glasses. I have my brown hair covering my forehead and giving off a friendly vibe. When I go inside I see people in business suits going about their business. Then I see the receptionist and then I go towards her. When she sees me approaching her she just looks at me and smiles while saying in a happy voice. What can I help you with, sir? I just look at her, what a good actress. Anyway, I just smile towards her and say in a friendly voice with a small friendly smile in my face. I would like the room in the back. Her expression doesn't change at all and still with a smile on her face she says. Oh sir. That would be on floor 35, room number 17A. I just nod and go towards the elevator, when I see that it reads out of order. Has the test already started? I then start going up the stairs. After 10 floors I see some people who probably came before me. They are resting. Most of them have backpacks and seem like they are ready to live in the wilderness. I keep walking and walking. Then I see more and more people on the side resting. Then as I am counting floors, when I arrive at the 31st floor I see a huge crowd of people in here and trying to get into a room which has a sign with 17A written on it. As soon as I saw this I couldn't help but think that they have been tricked. The receptionist said on floor 35, so that must mean that this is a fake. Then as not to alarm anyone I use Zetsu and dull my presence to not let anyone notice me. Then I go up to the 35th floor and I start walking along the hallway until I arrive at a door labeled as 17A and I enter it. There I see that it is like a giant classroom with around 170 people in it. There also seem to be some people sitting on chairs in the sides of the classroom. They had notebooks in their hands. Then I look around A and D. Don't see anyone from the story. I just find an empty desk and sit on it. After 3 hours a guy with a bandana, dark trench coat and a scar along his face comes in and he immediately says in a harsh cold voice. I wonder how many of you will die this time. After some awkward silence a muscular bald guy who is sitting in the front gets up and walks in front of the scared hunter. He sneers at him and says. I have been here for 5 hours and I am honestly tired. How about me and you fight right now and get this over with? I get a hunter's license and you get a beating you deserve. I will allow you to decide the rules of the fight. The exam proctor just looks at him and says in a cold voice. I could see his Nin leak out. The guy in front of him immediately falls to his knees. Then the proctor takes out a knife and says. Okay. I accept your challenge and I choose a death match. Fwoosh. Then he decapitates the bald muscular exam participant. He then tells one of the guys to take the body out and throw it onto the garbage disposal. Some of the contestants pale. The exam proctor just turns around like nothing happened and he says. Well then let me explain this exam. He starts explaining the exam. It is pretty much a written exam and if you are caught cheating you will be eliminated. So you must complete the exam, which consists of 10 questions during the allocated time. Also the 10th question will be given during the last 10 minutes. Then they start. When I look at my exam paper, quite easy. I finished it in 15 minutes. The time that I have left is 45 minutes. Seeing that I have nothing to do I secretly use Kyo to concentrate Nin into my eyes and see if there is any hidden Nin user around. I found 2 Nin users who were trying to hide by allowing their Nin to flow like a regular human, also there are 2 others. A blonde female and male. They are sitting next to each other, so I will assume the worst case scenario that they are together. The guy also has some type of war paint into his face. I will need to be careful. There are 4 non-users during this hunter exam. After all that is finished, we are asked if we want to take the 10th question. Also, some people got caught cheating and were escorted outside. They didn't dare reject. They already saw what happened to someone who tried to go against the exam proctor. If we do take it and don't answer it correctly, then we will fail and will never be able to take it again. Some people do give up. Pathetic pieces of HxT. They came this far and they still can't see underneath that statement. At the end there are only 97 people left. Then the scared exam proctor just adjusts his bandana a little and nonchalantly says, "There was no other question. You all pass. They were just scaredy cats that didn't deserve to even be here." Then he starts going towards the door and says, "Follow me to the rooftop. There we will meet our transportation vehicle for the next part of the exam." After some time and me following him to the 100th floor and then the rooftop. Some more people fell during the journey and now there are only 75 participants left. When we arrive at the rooftop, the exam proctor says in a casual voice, "They should be here any time now. So goodbye, it hasn't been a pleasure meeting you." He then goes to the roof elevator. He pressed the button and an out of order sign showed up. Then, as if remembering something, he takes a card out of his trench coat. The card has the Hunter Association logo in it. He just swipes it in the front of the elevator and ping! The elevator door opens, so it really was working all along. Hey. Chapter 6. Title, A Hunter Hunts. Then after a couple of minutes, I see a giant blimp appear from the sky. And soon I see someone jump from the sky towards the ground. Whoosh! And it opens a parachute. The person who lands on the ground is a woman who looks around her 20s. She has light brown, pupil-less eyes. Her hair color is violet and it is styled in a short, spiky, fanned ponytail. She is wearing a fitted mesh bodysuit that covers her from her neck down to her thighs. Over this she is also wearing a tan overcoat with a purple inseam and a pocket on each side, a dark orange miniskirt with a dark blue belt. She also has some good C-cups on her. She then smiles brightly towards our group and cheerfully says, "Hey there. I am Kona and I will be your next exam proctor. I am sure that you are all hungry. I am not as cruel as the emo Scarface. So I have prepared a lot of food on the blimp so you guys can rest and relax. The next exam will start after 2 days." The people around me seem to physically relax and somehow trust the woman in front of us. They must be glad that she is not like the proctor before her, who killed an exam participant just because he dared to raise his voice. After getting on the blimp and looking at the food, I secretly test the food with a thin needle for any corrosive type poison. After doing that test, then I started eating, like everyone else. After I finish eating and start going outside, I look at the paper that was given to us when we entered here. It separates our sleeping quarters. There are 5 living quarters. I just look at the map and go towards the bar on the airship. When I arrive there I see that only a couple of participants are drinking. How dumb are they to drink in a ship full of people who are ready to kill you? Then I also notice our exam proctor who is talking with the bartender, who is a person in a suit with lavender hair that curls at the end. His most distinctive feature is his lack of mouth. Isn't he the exam proctor during the time Gon took his hunter's exam? I decide to go towards them as soon as I do so they stop talking and look towards me. I sit next to my exam proctor, then I look at the bartender and smile towards him while saying, "Can I have a shot of whiskey?" He just nods and goes to prepare some drinks. Then my exam proctor Kona looks at me with an amused smile and says, "You sure are a rude guy, aren't you, coming in here and interrupting our conversation like that?" Even when she says that, I act coyly and calmly put my briefcase on the table. I then look towards her, smile and say in a friendly tone, Sorry if I did that. It's just that all of these strong people in here make me nervous." She just gives me a questioning look and says with a smirk on her face, "The most dangerous contestant during this time is you." I just raise an eyebrow at her, and then say to her in a friendly voice, "So I have a question." Then she just goes back to drinking from her glass. Then Satos brings me my drinks and goes back to washing some glasses. Kona just shrugs her shoulders and says, "Sure, ask away." I don't even touch my drink that Satos brought me. My face becomes serious and I say to Kona, "Hypothetically, if all of the other contestants are not able to participate on the other exams and only one person is able to participate, does that person gain a hunter's license?" Understanding the meaning of my words, Kona's eyes widen a little and she says, "Well, that would depend on the exam proctor. I myself like to be sure that a hunter has the abilities to survive. Meet me after 10 hours for a little spar in room NR127 and there we will see if you have them." I just look towards her with a serious face and then, a bright smile appears on my face. Then in a happy way I say to Kona, "I will see you there then." I pick up my briefcase and without even drinking my whiskey, I just turn around and walk away. While I am walking away, I go towards one of the empty pathways, and I crouch down and open my briefcase. Inside it there are hundreds of small canisters with a gas mask in it. I take 2 of the canisters and an empty canister and mix them together. I then put on the gas mask. Time to get me some EXP. At 4 in the morning while everyone is asleep, I go towards each of the rooms and put some heavy knockout gas, that will keep them down for about 5 days. I go outside of the rooms and just wait, they really seem like they are tired today. By 5 in the morning, everyone was knocked out. I take out a scalpel from the inside of my suit and go towards the non-users that I remembered from before. When I arrive at their rooms I kill the first with a simple needle quickly inserted into his brain. I am already used to death from my work in medicine and I don't necessarily feel bad if other people die for my benefits. Then I activate my HxH. The tablet appears into my hand and with the other hand I touch the non-user's body and... Whoosh. Chapter 7. Title, Jax vs Kona. Then a notification appears on my tablet. Plus 45 EXP. So that guy gave me 45, then let's see the others. I am at the other non-user's sleeping quarters. I see a bunch of other participants sleeping around. But killing them wouldn't give me any benefits or any experience, so there is no need for that. The non-users seem to be sleeping together. One is male and the other female. Maybe they are a couple. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. I go and kill both of them quickly and summon my tablet again. And then I touch the headman's corpse first. Whoosh. He turns into glittering lights and goes into my tablet. This ability might also be good at erasing murder evidence or something like that. This is the aspect of my ability that I won't use, but you never know. Plus 19 EXP. So this one was weaker. Then I turn towards the female non-user and use the ability again. She also gets absorbed into my tablet. Plus 22 EXP. After that I go outside of the room and I click on my only app on the tablet. Jax Miller. Age, 20. Talent LVL, 5, 0/100 EXP. EXP, 86. STR LVL, 5, 4/100 EXP. Agi LVL, 5, 2/100 EXP. End LVL, 5, 10/100 EXP. An amount LVL, 5, 42/100 EXP. When I look at my tablet my eyes immediately go towards mine an amount and I wanted to upgrade it. But the condition that when I upgrade an amount or talent, I would be forced into a state of Zetsu and become unable to use minen. I guess first I will spar with Kona and then I will upgrade minen. I start looking for room 127 around. It didn't take me long to find it, and when I did, I went inside and I saw Kana standing there leaning on the wall and sleeping. As soon as I enter the room she opens her eyes and looks at me. Are you ready? I just put my briefcase down and touch a secret button on it without Kona noticing anything. Then I take off the jacket and the necktie. Then I pull up my sleeve and take up a boxing stance against her. Then I use Ren, and explodes from my body. As soon as Kona sees this she just smiles slightly and says, "Nice nen you have there." Then she releases her own nen. I can sense that it is more refined. I use Gyo for a second and look at her aura quality and such. Judging by it she should be on the stronger side of the Hunter Association. Then her aura starts acting strangely and it starts forming tendrils of nen, and they turn into snakes-like nen creatures that are attached to her body. She then comes towards me. I jump sideways and her nen snakes who are attached to her aura extend and come towards me with the intent to bite me. I still just keep dodging. One of them even comes close to biting my arm, but I just bam! Punch it away. Then suddenly the snake turns around and faces me again, ready to attack. Kona is also coming towards me, then I put my hands in my pockets and then I take out 6 scalpels and keep them between my fingers and throw them towards Kona. She easily dodges and her snake is close to me now. Then I stealthily put my hand in my pocket and aim my gun, which is still in my pocket, towards Kona. Pow, 1-2x. I shot towards her 12 consecutive times, and since she was dodging my scalpels she wasn't able to dodge all of the bullets. And even though she had Ren active the bullets still left some slightly bleeding wounds on her. But I still kept her nen snake on my vision, and as he was sneakily about to bite me on my leg I just pow! Kick him away, and immediately look towards the bleeding Kona. She just smirks towards me and I can see her exposed muscles tightening and stopping the bleeding on wounded areas. Well then let's see how long you can last, Kona. After a couple minutes of me just dodging, suddenly Kona just bam! Drops to her knees and falls down, unconscious. It took quite some time for the poison to take effect. When I had put down my briefcase the button I touched activated a secret compartment that spews out poison. I am already immune to this type of strong poison so it doesn't work on me. Then I look at the unconscious Kona and notice something strange. I see, so that is it. Chapter 8. Title, Passing the Hunter Exam. When I look at Kona's unconscious body I immediately notice something strange. I use Gyo on my ears to make them slightly more sensitive and then I listen to Kona's heartbeat. I see, so that is what is happening. Then I just smirk slightly and loudly say, "So do I pass the hunter exam, Kona?" Then suddenly Kona's unconscious body stirred a little and she got up. Then she turned around and looked at me with a smile on her face. "Sure, you are a hunter now, you will just have to wait to get your pro hunter card." I just nod and go to put on my suit's jacket and then grab the briefcase, and as I am about to walk out I hear Kona say to me, "By the way, how were you able to tell that I was faking it?" I just turn towards her, and raise an eyebrow at her and say, "It was my HxH, but how were you able to resist the paralysis poison?" She just smiles and points with her thumb towards her chest in pride and she says, "Of course I can resist a little poison like that. I am a poison hunter after all. If it was any other hunter you would have undoubtedly defeated them. Also, when did you start spreading the poison?" I didn't quite notice that. I just smirk at her and say, "It was my HxH ability." And I just walk away. When I walk away I immediately feel a little lightheaded. The poison was kind of too strong even for me. I immediately took a vial from my briefcase and drank it. This was an antidote. Then I go towards the lounge area. I summon my tablet and look at my EXP. I won't upgrade anything yet. I will wait until I have enough EXP to upgrade my talent. Then I lie down on a big couch. Anyway, I better go to sleep now, I am quite tired. After 3 days of me just exploring around the airship, I found out that there was a training room, so here I am, pulling on some 600 kilograms weights, and I am completely naked while training. I don't want my suit to become sweaty or anything like that. I am trying to train my physical stats, but it isn't having a lot of results. I only got 4 EXP on strength, 2 on agility and 7 on endurance. So far the easiest stat to train has been endurance. The other examinees are still knocked out and sleeping. My knockout poison was very effective and expensive too. I didn't want to leave any loopholes in my plans. Then as I am training I hear the room of the door open. When I look at the direction of the door I see Kona. When she looks at me she freezes in shock. I just look towards her with my nonchalant face and say to her, "Did you need something, Kona?" Then she gets out of her trace and keeps looking at my lower body. She just blushes and covers her face. "On room number 1 the chairman is waiting for you." I just nod towards her and go towards the showers. Kona POV. As I look at his back with rippling compact muscles I immediately drop my innocent act and I can't help but lick my lips a little. Oh, now I want him really bad. Then I make a little snake from my aura and materialize it, to make it look like a real snake. Then the snake falls on the ground and starts slithering towards the showers. I close my eyes and I start seeing what the snake sees. Go on my. After 10 minutes of me spying on him, he comes out of the shower with his glasses and his suit on, looking all prim and proper. I want to have a go with him. Then he comes towards me. When he is to my side he puts his hand on my shoulder and nonchalantly says, "You really need to hide those predatory eyes of yours, they give away your true intentions." As soon as I hear that I am shaken away from my fantasies and truly feel a little embarrassed now. Jack's POV. I start going towards room number 1. When I arrive there I open the door and see an old man sitting on the ground drinking tea with a short table in front of him. I immediately recognized him as the Hunter Association chairman. Netero. He looks at me with a smiling face. He looks the same as he did during the anime except that his beard is a little shorter. This guy really is old. He then says with a childish smile on his face, "Oh, so you are the only one who passed the exam this year." I just look at him. There is no need for me to even use Gyo to see his aura. I can already feel it. His aura is quite massive and that perfect control. Chapter 9. Title, Getting Stronger. Netero just looks at me with a childish questioning look, then he just hums to himself for some seconds before seemingly coming to a decision. Then he says to me, "Since Kona spoke so highly of you, you can have your hunter's license." Then he takes a hunter's card from his pocket and gives it to me. "Use this carefully, now move along." I just take my hunter card and immediately turn around and start walking away. I didn't even say anything to him. Then I opened the door and went outside. As soon as I went outside, I am pretty sure Netero just assessed my potential just from that look, and I bet he didn't see anything special, at least I am sure he didn't. I couldn't read his true intentions at all. I am only making assumptions based on what I know of his personality from the HxH anime. Better get out of this airship. I need to start getting stronger faster or I will never be able to compete with monsters like him, and when Canon comes around I want to be able to at least compete with Miruem just to feel safe. 1 day later. After finally getting off that airship, I can now start truly getting stronger. Also no one even mentioned the disappearance of the 3 non-users from the airship. I guess when you design a death game you can't exactly ask other people not to kill. Then after that I immediately go to the receptionist and ask for another flight. I need a flight for the Valley of Death. The receptionist is about to refuse my request but I just show her my Pro Hunter card and she just nods and gives me a ticket to the Valley of Death. The Valley of Death is a dangerous place with vicious beasts that could easily kill humans. It is a restricted place but with my Hunter card I can easily get access to the place. I look at my Hunter card. You are truly useful. 4 months later. While I clean my high-caliber sniper put it back on my big army backpack. I look around at the army of corpses around me splattered on rocks and trees. The beasts rango from giant snakes to bigger than normal bears. This is just one of the groups of beasts killed by me, even though it might seem that in my Hatsu there are a lot of limitations but I thought about my ability for 20 years and I obviously put some. Not quite loopholes but they are the closest thing I can get to them. For example I can only get EXP from someone with an activated or something physically as powerful as a hunter. There are a lot of creatures physically as powerful as a hunter. Then I summon my tablet on one hand and I touch the ground. Whoosh. The corpses all become specks of lights and go into my tablet. This has now become a familiar sight to me. I look at my EXP and see that it has become 794. This is enough for now. Then I returned back to a cave in the Valley of Death. Inside there is a statue. I touch the hand of the statue which opens a hidden door. I go inside and there is an empty room with only a telephone pole in it. I just pick up the phone and dial a number. And I swipe my hunter card on the left of the pole. "Peep, what can I help you with?" As soon as I hear that robotic voice I answer. "I need an airship at the Valley of Death. Secret hideout number 11. Then the robotic voice answers. "The airship will arrive in 27 hours. Perfect, then I answer with a calm voice. "Works for me." Click. Then the line is shut. I need to get out of here. It is not a dangerous place for me, or anyone now that I exterminated most of the dangerous beasts for EXP. I was able to raise my efficiency by using my high-caliber sniper rifle, though I still let the offspring of the monsters live. When they grow up they will also give me EXP. Anyway. I sit down in the dark room and I take out a flashlight from inside my backpack to light up the room. And as soon as I do so, I summon my tablet. There is also another hole almost, loophole in my Hatsu, my fourth restriction says. 4. After I upgrade mine an amount or talent in my status page I can't use nin for one day and I am forced into a state of Zetsu. But what if I save EXP and I mass upgrade at once? I will still get only 1 day of forced Zetsu. Immediately I put all of my points into talent and the leftovers in nin amount. You will be forced into Zetsu in 3, 2, 1, 0. Upgrading process starting. As soon as the countdown reached 0. Whoosh. Minen slowly started to retract itself inside my body to force me into a state of Zetsu. Then, as soon as that was over, Minen was sealed for 1 day. Chapter 10. Title, Hunting. As soon as I am forced into a state of Zetsu and have nothing better to do I decide to sleep and rest my body. After all the last few months living on the wilderness, I have always slept between 4 to 6 hours a day. For someone like me who values the healthy 8 hours of sleep, something like this is abnormal and unhealthy. 24 hours easily pass like this. Though for the first time I truly feel weak without nin. I know how dangerous that can be. This condition is also an extreme one. After all, no matter how strong I grow, I will always have a 24 hours weakened state. That is the condition applied. Whenever I upgrade mine an amount or talent, I am forced into a 24 hours in a state of Zetsu unable to use nin, but also in a state of hiding at the same time due to my presence being completely dulled by Zetsu. I look at the ration bars that I was eating and I couldn't hold my excitement. I was finally going to be able to literally feel my progress. I then look at my watch. 3, 2, 1. Whoosh. My aura nodes open all at once and now my higher amount of nin seeps out, as soon as I feel that I use my, almost, 2 decades of handling nin and control all of my nin into submission without any problems. This is amazing. I can feel the power seeping out and the nin feels natural like always. After all, this nin didn't come out of nowhere. It is the nin absorbed from others, and turned into mine. In a way EXP is the currency to raise my stats. After thinking about that, I summon my tablet in my hand and click on the status app. Jax Miller. Age, 20. Talent LVL, 7, 0/400 EXP. EXP, 0. STR LVL, 5, 17/100 EXP. AGI LVL, 5, 15/100 EXP. End LVL, 5, 21/100 EXP. Nin amount LVL, 6, 32/200 EXP. Going from level 5 level 7 in nin talent might not seem much but, level 5 is average and level 7 is the same as having the talent of 1 in 10,000, that is rare, of course nowhere near the 1 in 10 million that Killua and Gon had but I am not far away from it. I will soon just go to another hunting ground. This one is called the Arahus Desert. It is known for its dangerous environment and ancient ruins. Maybe I should try to become a 1-star hunter, that will open more secret information to me and allow me to find more hunting grounds for EXP. Well anyway, I need to wait some more until the airship arrives. Just like this 3 hours pass. I was just trying to see how my new talent is working. Ren. Whoosh. My aura bursts out, I condense it and try to make move along my body faster. It listens to my will quite easily too. Amazing, simply amazing, only 3 hours of training and I already advanced my Ren by a little. The advance was truly minuscule and unnoticeable by anyone other than me who has been stuck in a snail-like pace of advancement. My advance on the field of nin was at such a slow pace that I only realized that I had advanced at all after months of training. I have been training nin for 13 years, if I had this type of talent from the beginning I would have needed only 3 years to get to the same level that took me 13 years to reach. Then as if a fire was lighted into my heart, I couldn't help but obsess. I need more talent. Ring. 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 But my thought process is interrupted when I hear the telephone pole ring. I go towards it and answer it. Hello, I am the pro hunter Jax, where will I meet the airship that I will fly on? Then a normal male voice comes from the other side of the phone. The airship is above the mountain. When you arrive at the top see us, signal us somehow and we will throw down a rope ladder for you. I just answer with a simple okay. I pack my backpack and things. Then I get ready for some mountain climbing. Also I need to test something about my talent stat. Then I get out of the secret room and start climbing the mountain. To reach the top. As I am halfway the mountain I am not really a professional mountain climber, but as I am climbing I notice that I am doing some things wrong while climbing. Focus on my hips. I need to try to keep one hip pushed up against the wall. I must have a hip close to the wall so it brings my shoulder closer. When I arrive at the top of the mountain I have to stop myself from shaking because of excitement. The normal human has different amount of talent on different skills. For example, someone might be good at cooking but bad at martial arts, that is normal, but me. In the beginning when I created my Hatsu I noticed that some things like memory learning skills got worse. But my cooking got a little better. I suspected it since then but now I understand, this is an unintended limitation on my Hatsu, it did lower my talent in some things to make them average level, LVL 5, but now I literally have the talent of 1 in 10,000, in everything I try, this ability just went from having good potential to out of this world. I will literally be able to advance limitlessly at anything I try. Yes. Ha 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 ha. Then I have to forcefully calm myself because this literally means that I could defeat someone like Miruem at anything he tries, but only if I have my talent stat at like 11 or 12. I then see the airship and I signal them, they notice me and they drop a rope ladder from the airship. I immediately climb it, and when I get on the ship I see a female flight attendant with black curly hair, blue eyes, and heavy makeup, pretty average overall. Then she comes towards me with a good fake practiced smile and says, "Sir, about your payment." I just nod towards her and say, 1 million, right? She just nods, and then I take out a checkbook and write the amount down and give it to her. Then I ask her, "Is there a computer here?" She nods and then guides me to a room where there were around 10 computers. I go inside the room and turn on one of the computers and put my hunter card on it. Soon the computer automatically goes to the hunter's website only for hunters. Currently there are around 600 hunters all around the world. And I go towards the hunter list. Finally I arrived at the one I wanted and pressed contact. Chapter 11. Title, I simply hunt. EXP. When I am calling the person on the computer, I see that the call is going, so that means that he is online. Then he answers and a green-headed bean-like person, without a nose and wearing a suit, appears on the screen. When he sees me he has a smile on his face and he says, "Hi, I am Secretary of the Hunter Association's chairman, what can I help you with?" I just calmly said to him, "I have eliminated the dangerous monsters of the Valley of Death, though I did leave the younger ones alive. I didn't want to destroy the local ecosystem, so I was wondering if that warrants an upgrade to a 1-star hunter." The bean-looking man takes a thinking pose and after a couple of seconds answers, "I will need to send some people to confirm this. But, if you did what you say that you did." Then he takes some more time to think things through. "While the thing that you did was truly useful and because of the lessened danger more rookie hunters will probably go there, that isn't truly, excuse me for my language, remarkable enough to earn a 1-star, though if you were to do the same in another hostile environment that has some historical values, you would probably be upgraded to a 1-star hunter." I just nod at him and then ask him a question. "Then next time I am going to the Arahus Desert. It is said, that place has a lot of ancient ruins and pyramids. Some of them unexplored." Then Beans just looks at me and says, "Don't worry about raising your rank, a hunter just hunts something, if you do what you like. I am sure that you will get to become a 1-star hunter." I just smile at him and say, "Sure, no problem." And then I cut off the chat. I need to become a higher ranked hunter to get the secret information on any biomes that even information brokers can't get. Also I am always hunting what I want. I hunt EXP. 8 months later /MCH 21. I look all around me at the desert surrounding me. I have been surviving here for a long time, drinking from the only water source nearby and eating monster flesh. Resisting the cold at night has also helped me tremendously to form a type of very low-level cold resistance. I am wearing a good soldier uniform with a helmet. I look at the giant green lizard with 8 legs in front of me. He is as big as a 1-story house. I also am fully armed with different blades, though I have run out of bullets a long time ago, but I still have the short sword and knives I brought along. Then I pull out my short sword from the sheath. Then while I see that the beast is waiting I summon mine and tablet, and now there is another app accept status. It is my new Hatsu. It is called Gamer's Glasses. Can get all of the information from a target like physical strength and an amount just by looking at the target with the glasses on. The glasses also reveal any and hidden by and without the need to use Geo consciously. It also acts as a data bank where I can store information and can be used for different calculations. Conditions. If you drink the blood of the creature you are able to find out some general information about their ability. The information will appear in the form of a riddle. If you drink the blood of a woman under the age of 15 you will be able to tell their talent on NEN. Then I touch the app and the glasses appear on my face. Then I make the tablet turn back into NEN but my glasses still stay. I look at the lizard in front of me and see a LVL4 displayed above his head. I have already fought the same type of lizard countless times already. But this is also good because this should give me some more EXP. Then at this moment the giant lizard decides to charge towards me. I don't even dodge it. As soon as it is close to me and as expected it doesn't bite but it uses his tail as a surprise attack, and as soon as the tail gets close to me, I use Shu and surround the sword with NEN and Fwoosh. I cut off the tail of the giant lizard, and my glasses again pointed out the routes that based on the other similar lizards, how this lizard will attack. Then it has a 23% chance to attack me with his right leg and the other attacks all have chances lower than 6%. In battle calculations are hard, but with time as I fight more, these glasses will adapt more to it and give more accurate readings. I prepared to dodge its right leg but, this time it actually decided to attack with its tongue. This is new, but I was still prepared for any attack. I still don't trust the accuracy of the glasses calculating power. As soon as the lizard's tongue is about to touch me, it Fwoosh. Falls on the ground. Chapter 12. Title, Ancient Ruins. So as soon as the giant lizard's tongue falls on the ground while still using Shu to run and through my weapon, I just cut its tongue before it could touch me. I push off the ground and towards the giant lizard. Fwoosh. And with a clean sweeping slash, I cut off the lizard's head. Then like usual I just summon my NEN tablet and the body turns into particles. Then I click into my stats page and my glasses dissipate back into NEN. Jax Miller. Age, 20. Talent LVL, 7, 0/400 EXP. EXP, 1366. STR LVL, 5, 31/100 EXP. Agi LVL, 5, 34/100 EXP. End LVL, 5, 36/100 EXP. An amount LVL, 6, 139/200 EXP. I looked at my stats and especially at my EXP. I was tempted so many times to upgrade my NEN talent, but I always remembered the condition that I made to myself for my ability. To be forced into a state of Zetsu when I upgrade either my NEN talent or NEN amount, that is no joke, especially in a dangerous environment like this. I will be no different than a human. Then as I look at my EXP, I still have to force myself to not push the stat to upgrade. I have already seen what a level 7 talent, which is 1 in 10,000, can do. What about a level 9, which is 1 in a million? It is literally 100 times better than level 7 talent. The speed at which I advance would be at breakneck speeds. Then as I am about to walk away, I notice that where the lizard had fallen the sand had moved away to reveal stone. No, it seems like some type of brick. Is this some type of ruin? The Araha's desert is known for its ruins and all that, but I never really thought I would find one. I mean, a person has to be pretty lucky to find one, and I never count on things like luck, but I am not about to kick away a gift like this. Just hope that it at least has something valuable in it. Immediately I serious, and used Shu on my sword to run NEN through it. Whoosh. With some quick slashes I cleanly cut the stone on front of me. Boom. The stone fell and made some noise down below, so that means that there is a room in there. I use N to sense any movements in there. Since I used this time while fighting here in the desert to learn advanced NEN techniques, so I am pretty proficient in them. Even though my talent is 1 in 10,000, using any of the advanced techniques takes a lot of NEN from me. Though I still can use them in short intervals of time, like right now when I am using N to sense any movements inside the room, and there are none. Damn, it really seems like an unexplored ruin. I then jump inside, and when I look around there is only dust and darkness. That is until my eyes adjust to the darkness and with the help of the light coming from the hole. I notice some ancient drawings in the walls. In the beginning it looks like normal, humans fighting against huge beasts, but then I saw the drawing of a map on the wall, and immediately like a lightning strike I understood what these drawings express. These drawings are about the Dark Continent. When I start inspecting them a little closer and paying more attention to them, they immediately start making more sense. They do talk of fighting some beasts, but mostly what they talk about: how to survive on the Dark Continent, the different ways on how to get food while you are there, farming methods, how to run away from certain monsters, and how to counteract some of the dangerous monsters' abilities. Immediately after using my glasses and storing all of the data of these drawings that were in this type of underground temple that was probably buried by some natural catastrophe, I take out my sword and use Shu to run NEN through my sword, and then I started scratching off all of the drawings. After all, it is better to have a monopoly over something than let someone else use it. After doing that, I start hitting all of the weak points holding the underground temple together, and then I go outside of it. This should make it more difficult for any NEN user with some type of rewind ability. It is unlikely for that to happen, but who knows really. Then I reach inside my uniform and pull out an old-style cubic phone that looks like a brick. I look at my phone and dial a number on it. Pyru. 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 I am just hailing an airship to come and pick me up. I am going back to civilization. It is around 45 hours later that I notice the airship that came to take me away. When I see that the airship arrived, I can't help but somehow feel familiar with this ship. They dropped me a rope ladder. Oh, I remember now, it was the same airship that took me off the Valley of Death and brought me here. I immediately went towards the computer room and put in my hunter card in the computer port, and then I entered the hunter website again. I immediately call Beans. When I see his face, he has a look of recognition on his eyes. He most likely remembers me from the last time, and then without me saying anything he says, I can already guess what you are going to say from your location, and we will still investigate the desert, but you Jax Miller have achieved the rank of a 1-star hunter. Come to the Hunter Association building and we will give you your new card. I just seriously nod towards Beans. He just smiles at that. Well then, goodbye Dr. Miller. Says the Beans, the bean-like thing. I wonder what type of creature even is he? And he closed off the chat. Immediately after that I went towards a sleeping room on the airship. I take a shower and then I fill up a tub with warm water and lie in it. This feels good. Then while in the tub I summon my tablet in my hand and I immediately go towards my stats. Time to upgrade. Chapter 13. Title, 1-Star Hunter. While in the tub filled with hot water, when I feel it run through my skin, I can't help but appreciate the water, as it feels like the best bath in my life, and I actually haven't taken a shower in 8 months in the desert, so that definitely is a big factor in my opinion being kinda crooked. But really though, civilization really is the best place to be. I then decide to look at my stats on the tablet. Jax Miller. Age, 21. Talent LVL, 7, 0/400 EXP. EXP, 1366. STR LVL, 5, 31/100 EXP. Agi LVL, 5, 34/100 EXP. End LVL, 5, 36/100 EXP. Nan amount LVL, 6, 139/200 EXP. Then I immediately put my EXP into talent to bring it up to level 9, and then I put the rest into NEN amount and bring it up to level 7, which is around equal to a strong phantom troop member in NEN amount. Though obviously stats aren't something that one should judge combat capability by. I look at my new stats again. Jax Miller. Age, 21. Talent LVL, 9, 0/1800 EXP. EXP, 0. STR LVL, 5, 31/100 EXP. Agi LVL, 5, 34/100 EXP. End LVL, 5, 36/100 EXP. Nan amount LVL, 7, 105/400 EXP. Your will be forced into Zetsu in 3, 2, 1, 0. You will now enter Zetsu. I don't resist the procedure at all. Now I can be in a state of Zetsu as all of mine is put back into my body. So without fear of being ripped to shreds from a desert creature that might accidentally find me. Soon I will need to start upgrading my body too, that is if I want to feel safe during this time of forced Zetsu. Level 9 talent means, 1 in a million talent. Ha 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 ha, 1 in a million. I can't believe it that I am already at that level, that is what is called monstrous talent. Still though, while not at Gon or Killua's level, but it is still pretty close, only one level away, and I also have more aura than most of the hunters in the world, so there is that too. Level 7 aura is around the amount that someone like Yuvajin or a phantom troop member has. At level 8 an aura amount is Netero, then at level 9 will be the royal guards, and then level 10 will be the king level. I can't wait to get to that level. Just like this, 2 days pass me by really fast. Playing with my new talent is pretty fun. I flex my aura a little, it comes flowing naturally and clearly in almost a beautiful way. That is I use. Ren. Boom. My aura explodes out of me, turning from a beautiful flow into a violent one like tendrils of darkness extending out. Even the room around me is shaking a little. If I went all out, just by standing in place and violently start using Ren, it would definitely destroy the room. After that I start using 10. Whoosh. My aura immediately turns peaceful and comes back into my body, turning to normal. I look at my hand and clench it into a fist. In just one day I made so much progress on my Ren that with my previous talent it would have taken years, no, probably decades of non-stop training for me to finally be able to reach where I am now. Though the progress was only so good because I already was pretty good at it and had experience using them for a long time. Then I look out of the window of my room in the airship and I see the Hunter Association building. Hat, finally I am here. When I arrive at the building, the airship carefully docks on top of the building. So I just get out and go towards the elevator, and use my hunter card to open the elevator, and then I press the 100th floor button. The floor is also known as the chairman's floor. When the elevator door opens I see that the floor is more like a long hallway with a door at the end of the hallway. It has different paintings and even some vases. I use Gyo to concentrate aura on my eyes and look at the objects around me. I look at all of them and see that they all have Nen in them. They would probably fetch a pretty good price on the market. Then when I arrive in front of the door of the chairman's office I just simply knock once and then I hear the old chairman's voice say, "Come in." When I enter the room I see Netero sitting behind a desk. His office is unlike the hallway, it looks too minimalistic with only some usual office trinkets. The only thing out of place here is the framed shirt with a red kanji for heart. Isn't that his lucky t-shirt in which he fights against Miruem? I wonder if he took that shirt when he went to the Dark Continent. Wonder if he put some restrictions on his abilities, so they become stronger when he wears that shirt. I mean, Nen works in a lot of different ways. It is unpredictable and can at the same time be the most predictable *T in the world. But I stop my thought process from wondering as I look at the chairman, who is sitting on his expensive looking chair playing with a yo-yo. I just look at him. Then when he notices me just looking at him he puts the yo-yo away. What the hell? Is he senile or something? If I didn't know about him from the anime I would have passed him as just another eccentric old man. But now I see that contrary to his attitude when we first met. He looks at me with a serious look on his face while playing with his beard. His eyes also have a certain shine in them that definitely makes me have a chill on my spine. That is when Netero smiles at me. "I see that you have advanced quite a bit from the last time I saw you, young man." As he says that I can't help but have a sense of respect for this man's experience. He just read my strength so easily, and he needed just one look. He didn't even need to use Nen, that is something that he most likely learned while he fought countless opponents during his lifetime. This is the man who has reached the pinnacle of strength available for humanity, the man who dedicated his life to perfection in martial arts. That is something I can understand, searching for perfection and surpassing an unstable adversary. Though I don't agree with the unstoppable adversary, I would rather not fight against something like that no matter how strong I am. Chapter 14. Title, I don't like killing. As soon as he says that, I just calmly smile and say to him in a happy voice. I must say that my progress was mostly because of my life-threatening situation. He just looks at me with his knowing old man look and he starts humming in a low tune as he says. Cool, so what are you here for? I just act like I am tired and say to him. Hasn't Beans already told you? I am here for the promotion to a 1-star hunter. Then his face brightens up just like he remembered, this damn old man. I know he is messing around with me, but I still can't do anything since I can sense that his aura is still way above mine. Of course his aura doesn't have any malicious intent on it to make me scared or anything like that, but his quality of aura, it is almost beautiful. Yet I remember that. Says Netero, his voice cutting me out of my thought process. He then takes something from his pocket and throws it at me while saying. Here it is, you young people are no fun nowadays. I just grab the card which has a 1-star on it and leave back my previous no-star hunter card. And I turn back, open the door and immediately go outside. That old man is creepy, I can't read in the slightest what he is thinking. I can only try to predict by analyzing his real personality, and that is not a good thing because if you take off Netero's mischievous mask, he is a twisted individual. He was willing to let as many as 5 million people die if that ensured the end of the Chimera Ant Kingdom. Also he often enjoyed giving hunters he trusted impossible assignments, sometimes with deadlines of only a few months, that should take years to complete. After all he only took Nov and Morel on a suicide mission. Netero already considered himself dead even before he made contact with the ants. He knew that there was a high chance of death for them and he still decided to not notify any of the Zodiacs to come help him. Also there is the other reason, that he himself liked challenges, to the point he wanted his vice chairman to be someone he just could not get along with. But he also has good points to him. After all, he banned travel to the Dark Continent and he definitely helped a lot of people, so there is that too, but just because he did that doesn't make him any less dangerous. After all, the world isn't just black and white. Anyway, as soon as I am outside I go towards the airship again and into the computer room. The pilot and the staff was away, so when I went there no one was inside. I look at the new information on my Hunter website account. I immediately started searching for cities in poverty, and I found one. Dunga City, 98% unemployment rate, population 400.000, crime rate also around 98%, this city is perfect for my goals. Also it seems like no one is allowed in or out of the city by the G5, but I am a 1-star hunter now, so of course I am allowed in. I spent 1 month in this hellish city. It was a little hard smuggling things on the inside at first, but the results are really worth it. I am currently in a big shabby building in Dunga City. In front of me are 100 starving people. I just look at them with kind eyes and tell them, "The Lord shall watch over us, please eat, and after eating come here and I will do the sacred ritual on you." Then I opened 10 big sacks full of food and bread. Then I even went to the side and brought the heavy tub of water. After they finish eating, one of them comes towards me and bows in front of me while saying, "Oh Holy One, please bless me." I just look at him. I have become like a religious leader here. I have the food and physical power to protect myself, and so I called them all to come and pray together. Well, I don't care about any god. After all, even if an almighty god did exist, leaving people starve to death, and so, he is definitely an evil god, so there is that, but I only do this because of my own benefit. I touch the head of this follower, pushing them into his body. Whoosh. Activating his aura nodes. After opening the aura nodes of all of the people in here and then asking them to make a blood sacrifice to the god. 17 of them died because they couldn't control their aura. Then I go to another sack that is just lying in there. This one is smaller, so I just pick it up and take out a gun, AK-47, and aim it towards all of the people in front of me. Papa. 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 And with that, and while using Shu to cover all of my bullets within in the manipulation category, having the ability to put most in an object, I slaughtered them all. Pow. And as the bodies of the last one fell down, I just looked at him, and he also seemed to be alive and he had a shocked look on his eyes. This guy was at the back of the crowd, so the bullets didn't reach him, but I should train my aim a little more, after all with level 9 talent. Then the person looks at me with a look of betrayal and despair, then he desperately says, "W cough why?" I didn't answer and just point my gun at his head. Pow. Shot him in his brain. I truly don't like killing, but I don't hate it either. If it gives me some type of benefit I will do it, if not then I won't. It's just as simple as that to me. I don't lose a wink of sleep when I kill, but neither do I gain pleasure from it. Though I do gain pleasure from something else. I summon my tablet in my hand and touch the blood of all the people on the ground. The first condition that I had for my ability. 1. The organisms must have their nodes open or be at least as strong as the average hunter physically to get EXP from them. They have their nodes open, so. Chapter 15. Title, Student. 3 months pass after the massacre. While I am taking a shower I look at my stats. Jax Miller. Age, 20. Talent LVL, 9, 0/1600 EXP. EXP, 3261. STR LVL, 5, 38/100 EXP. Agi LVL, 5, 40/100 EXP. End LVL, 5, 44/100 EXP. Nan amount LVL, 8, 532/800 EXP. I have understood something critical for my gamer system. It qualifies strength in a different way than most people. I guess my subconscious thoughts on strength must have affected it too. I have noticed that there are different criteria about strength and how much EXP I get. For example, the more intelligent a creature, the more EXP I get from it. Also, the more potential, unknown DNA, good genetics, etc., the more EXP they give. I guess that EXP given isn't quantifiable just by the strength of my opponent. But then again, I guess that even though I used my love for games to create this Hatsu, other traits of my personality leaked through during the creation. Anyway, I have already killed thousands of people in this city after activating their aura nodes and the residents. I need to get out of here soon. People have started noticing that thousands of them are gone. They don't care since almost everyone here is a criminal, but if tens of thousands of people come after me with guns and grenades, I wouldn't be sure I will survive. Also, my talent has started to truly show its strength. My aura has been rising continuously and I am easily mastering advanced nin techniques. This is amazing, using my talent. I even mastered knife fighting to a high level just in case. I can do a lot of tricks with knives that no one could even imagine. Honestly, having this type of high talent is so amazing. I then turn my tablet back into mine and go outside of the shower. When I am outside I put on a tracksuit and towards the kitchen. Once I am there, I see a young girl around 11 years old. She has short black hair and black emotionless eyes. I found her sleeping on the sidewalk of one of the roads. She was wearing rags and I didn't really care in the beginning. After all, it's just another homeless kid on this HxT city, but like usual I had my Hatsu active, gamer's glasses, and saw that her aura was bigger than average. So out of curiosity I secretly took a needle and drank a drop of her blood to determine her talent with the help of my gamer's glasses. It was around LVL 9 talent in NEN. That was surprising to me. That amount of talent is only seen 1 in a million, so I immediately took her in and have been teaching her NEN, in here secretly. I don't let her know of my activities in this city and just tell her that I am here to help people. Also, she didn't have a name, so I gave her one. I named her Mikasa from an anime from my last life. I am not good with names, so I chose that one. Mikasa was abandoned by her parents at the age of 6 years old and survived until the age of 12, during which I found her. She used to eat from garbage cans. That is also the reason she looks more like a 6-year-old than a 12-year-old kid. She was malnourished for quite some time. I then cook some scrambled eggs and put them on the table, and Mikasa immediately comes and sits down, and even though she has an emotionless look in her eyes, I know that she is happy. She just can't express her feelings, plus with my level of talent I am already a 5-star chef without even trying that hard to become a better cook. As expected, if 1 in a million talent as a chef. When I put the food in front of her, I notice that she is holding her favorite toy, a brown plushie with a wolf's head and human-looking body, wearing casual clothes. It was the first toy I gave her. She likes it like no other. When I gave her that toy, she actually cried. When I see her toy, I tell her, "I told you, Mikasa, put the toy away when you eat." She looks conflicted for a second, but then she says in her usual monotone voice, "Yes, sensei." Then she starts eating. After 10 days since then, I hold Mikasa's hand while we just walk outside of the city, without anyone even stopping us. When we are about 100 meters away from the city, an airship descends from the sky, and like usual it throws some rope stairs. I just pick up Mikasa with one hand and started climbing the rope stairs. When I arrive at the top and enter the airship, I see that it was the usual one that I take. I then take Mikasa towards the training room, and I said to her in an encouraging voice, "Go and practice Ren until you can hold it as long as you can. After that, rest, and when you seem ready, try again. If you are hungry, just..." I point towards a phone on the corner of the room. "Ask on that phone and someone will come to bring you food. Also, if you get too tired or sleepy, you can also ask from the phone to bring you to a room." Then I just pat her head, and while smiling I tell her, "I will go and talk to the captain about some procedures." She just nods and says with her monotone voice, "Yes, sensei." And then she uses Ren, her aura bursts out and she enters into deep concentration. After that I go towards the captain's cabin, and when I enter I see the captain in there with a cigarette in his mouth. He has a full beard now. When I enter he turns around and says, "How can I help you, Sir Jax?" I just smile lightly and say to him in a calm voice, "Sorry for bothering you, Captain. I just wanted to say that my next destination is Heaven's Arena." He is about to say something, but I act like I don't notice and close the door and go outside. He was probably going to say the cost and time of the trip. I don't need to worry about that. After all, I have enough money and I can already guess the price range. And as usual I go towards the bathrooms, and I go towards a mirror and summon my Nen. Unlike half a month ago, my Nen comes out smoothly, in an almost elegant way as I summon my tablet. Once it appears on my hand, I immediately click on the stats app and finally, I can't wait to spend this EXP. Chapter 16. Title, Power. I look at myself in the mirror, and when I look at my stats, Jax Miller. Age, 21. Talent LVL, 9, 0/1600 EXP. EXP, 3261. STR LVL, 5, 38/100 EXP. Agi LVL, 5, 40/100 EXP. End LVL, 5, 44/100 EXP. Nan amount LVL, 8, 532/800 EXP. My plan is to use just 1600 EXP to upgrade my talent to the next level. I also plan to try and upgrade my physical stats a little. After all, I need to see if that has any unknown drawbacks. Assuming that I know 100% of my ability would be wrong. I did create it with certain conditions in mind, but I have already seen things that I didn't know about in the ability. Like the EXP calculations and such. After giving this much thought, I decide to use 62 EXP to upgrade my strength to level 6. Crack, crack, crack. My body is immediately assaulted with an enormous amount of pain as I feel my bones crack, but it also goes away after 10 or so seconds. It seems like it's not good to upgrade in any way in the middle of a battle. That pain, though it lasted only for a couple of seconds, it was the worst pain I have felt up to date. That would be disastrous during a battle. After sighing a little in relief, I look at myself in the mirror and I have gotten a little bulkier and my muscles a little more defined. I then decided to put another 60 EXP to upgrade my agility to level 6 also, and as soon as I do so, cling. I could feel as if my muscle tendons were getting ripped apart at my joints. There was pain all over my body, but at the joints the pain is the most horrible. But that pain also lasted around 7 to 10 seconds. I look at my body again in the mirror and notice that my body has gotten thinner and my muscles even more defined again. So that is how it works, hey. I decided to put another 56 EXP into endurance. This time the feeling of absolute burning around my body appears, but this pain was over in just a second, faster than even raising strength. I look at my body and don't see any major difference, then I try jumping around. I was a little disoriented at first, but in about a minute I got perfect control of my strength. I guess talent helps with that too. Then I continue upgrading all of my physical stats to level 7 and use all of my leftover EXP to upgrade some more things until I have 0 EXP left. Jax Miller. Age, 21. Talent LVL, 10, 0/3200 EXP. EXP, 0. STR LVL, 7, 0/400 EXP. Agi LVL, 7, 0/400 EXP. End LVL, 8, 215/800 EXP. Nan amount LVL, 9, 0/1600 EXP. Finally I am strong enough. As I am thinking that a notification appears. You will be forced into Zetsu. 3, 2, 1, 0. Soon my aura all around me shuts down and comes inside of my own body. I will be in a state of weakness for 24 hours. This condition will be my Achilles heel, so I need to be careful about it. It takes 11 days for me to arrive at my destination. Mikasa is next to me as we look over the edge of the airship. We are currently at the balcony of the airship together, and I see the Heavens Arena city below. We are around 30-60 meters in the air. Then I look at Mikasa and I hear her ask. So where is the rope leader that we will go down with sensei? I just look at her and smile. Then I grab her in a princess carry and hear her say in a slightly panicked voice. What are you doing, sensei? Then I jump off the airship, and that is the first time I ever saw Mikasa truly scared. Her eyes widened in a look of absolute terror on her face as she screams to me in a loudly panicked voice. We are gonna die, sensei too. I keep smiling at her, and we then hit the ground. Boom. A dust cloud is made all around us. My feet don't even feel numb from handling all of the jump. Mikasa seems panicked, but I just say to her with a smile still on my face. Don't worry, Mikasa, have some trust in me. Ha 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 ha. It took even Mikasa about 3 hours to go back to her calm demeanor. We are currently dining at an expensive restaurant on Heaven's Arena. After we finish eating I say to Mikasa in an encouraging voice. Mikasa, I brought you here to temper and train your nin, and I also want you to develop a Hatsu. No matter what, don't try to copy anyone's Hatsu because it won't be strong or effective and you will only get a weaker version of the original. Though you can use certain parts of someone else's abilities as a foundation for your own. Also, since you are a conjurer, try making something and don't be shy to put some conditions on it. It will just make it stronger, but don't put anything too extreme or it will hinder you. Just put your own ambition and power into it. I continue giving her tips on creating her ability. A Conj Yuri needs to keep an open mind on their Hatsu creation, but at the same time they need to be stubborn about it too. Mikasa POV. When I hear my sensei say that I can't help but contemplate. Hatsu. Sensei always says that it should be a representation of yourself and at the same time be something that you need. I then look at sensei and ask him. What about you, sensei? What is your Hatsu? When I ask him, he seems a little surprised at this, but he smirks and answers. Chapter 17. Title, Drugs? Mikasa POV. When I asked him about his Hatsu, sensei just smiled at me and conjured a pair of glasses on his face, then he said softly with an amused tone to his voice. These glasses allow me to see information about my opponent, and a lot of other minuscule things. Wow, that is, kind of underwhelming. After all, sensei is so strong physically and his aura is very powerful. But an ability like that sounds more oriented towards support than combat. Sensei looks at me with a knowing look on his face, as if he already knows what I am thinking. I know it might not seem powerful, but nin battles are more complicated than just raw power, so since I already have enough raw power I choose this one to help me determine my opponent's power. And like always, even though I always have my normal face with no expression, sensei is able to tell what I am thinking. But still though, I am definitely nor having a Hatsu like that. I need the raw power, not the efficiency that sensei needs. And just like that, after some time sensei decided to register us both for the Heavens Arena. Sensei went first to fight on the first floor, and sensei's opponent was a guy with muscles like a swimmer, but as soon as he saw sensei he immediately gave up, and then when the referee noticed that sensei had been here before he immediately sent sensei to the 150th floor. With it, me and sensei will not have to fight against each other since our floors will be too far apart. Then comes my fight. My opponent seems like a skinny guy wearing a tracksuit. He seems around his 20s with brown hair and brown eyes. When he sees me he gets a complicated look on his face and he says to the referee. Fighting a kid. I am not really comfortable. The referee just frowns at him, and says. This is your opponent, you either fight or you give up the fight. Then my skinny opponent just frowns back, but instead of anger, it's more like annoyance. No, it's okay. I will fight. As soon as the referee announced us to begin fighting, I immediately charge towards him with a punch ready to meet his face. He just dodges and jumps back, then I go after him again and punch him. He blocks my punch with his palm. I send a kick towards his legs, but he jumps up and dodges. He does a backflip and while moving backwards. Jax, MC, POV. And after a minute or so I notice that Mikasa's opponent still hasn't thrown one attack at her, probably because she was a child or some sense of kindness like that. Anyway, I notice that he slips on the stage and falls down, and Mikasa is about to punch him in the face, but she stops, just before her punch connected with his face. And her opponent falls on his back and starts breathing heavily. Even after this little exercise, I put my glasses on and notice that her opponent seems to have something strange about him, but I can't tell what it is yet. Damn, can't these HxTTY glasses be a little more useful? I know I created them myself, but it mostly had the intention of finding talented individuals. Then as Mikasa is allowed to move to the 10th floor for her fight, I told her to go to my room in the Tower of Heaven and rest. I decide to follow the guy. What I notice with my glasses is that he has a weak vitality and below average aura, but what really drew me to follow him is because even though it seemed like he had never been in a real fight and knew no martial arts, but he was still able to keep up with Mikasa, who trained with me for a couple months, which is pretty good. I also have this hunch that things aren't as simple as they seem. When I follow him in an alleyway and he takes off his jacket, I see that he has needle piercing marks all over his arms, and I immediately know what is happening. So he does drugs. Well, that is disappointing. I thought that he was special or something like that. But he could still have his uses. I immediately think of a plan. This could be either good, or fruitless endeavor if it doesn't work my way. I immediately stealthily go behind him and bam! I knock him out with a soft chop to his neck. I put on his jacket, make a little cut on him, to taste his blood and see his talent. Though he is older than 15 so the glasses aren't 100% accurate, his talent still doesn't seem to be that bad. I put him on a piggyback, and I casually walk towards Heaven's Arena. LVL. 8 in talent, that is lower than Mikasa but still 1 is 100,000. Am I really this lucky to find a person like him around? But I guess that no normal person chooses to fight in the Heaven's Arena. Level 8, that will definitely help me on my plans. I have never been this lucky. But I guess that probabilities work in strange circumstances and that no normal person at such a young age comes to fight in Heaven's Arena. Damn, did I expend all of my life's luck in finding him? I really hope not. After some time I finish carrying him back to my Heaven's Arena room in the tower. I see that Mikasa was here meditating while having her Ren active, she truly is a hard-working student. Then I drop the guy that I was carrying on the ground and take off his shirt, then I pull out some needles and medicine from my first aid kit, and use Shu to run some through the needle. This guy's symptoms are malnourishment, drug addiction, some bones that haven't healed correctly, and some more lower-level internal injuries. If I don't heal those he will never be able to reach his peak of power. Well then, let's start the procedure. I start cutting him up and putting in place some old broken bones. As soon as Mikasa sees what I was doing, I explain that I was helping him, but she still goes and rents another room in the city. I guess she doesn't have the ability to stomach blood and organs, yet. After putting his bones in place, tie his arm and muscles together, then I patch his arm up. I go towards his internal organs and first I cut some parts of his liver, they are infected. I also flushed his stomach. With the help of Nin and with my talent, my medical skills have gone to the top of this world. I could literally keep a cut-off head alive if I have the necessary tools. I mean I mostly studied medicine as a dedication to my Hatsu, just like Netero did 10,000 punches. I spent 5 years studying medicine and even continue up till today. Anyway, I better keep my mind on the procedure. After 2 hours the whole procedure is done and I patched him up. I even used some organic type of glue to keep his internal organs together. He will have to not overspend his body or he would die of internal bleeding if his surgeries open up. Then after I take him out of his anesthesia, his eyes immediately opened and a trace of clear panic can be seen in them. Chapter 18. Title, Who Am I? General POV. When Jax looks at the thin person who is now wrapped in bandages. When the other person opens his eyes he is immediately in panic and tries to get up, and with great difficulty he does so. Jax doesn't stop him at all, he just looks at him with indifferent eyes. As he sees the slightly dazed look on the man's face, Jax decides this is the perfect moment to ask him a question. What is your name? The other guy instinctively answered. My name is Kid. Then Kid looks around and asks. Wait, who am I? How do I know my own name, what is happening? Jax just looked at him strangely and looked at Kid with a worried look while saying. I don't know much about you. I found you at the side of the road. The only thing I know is that you fought my student at the Heaven's Arena. Kid was concentrating hard but he just couldn't remember anything about himself, what was going on, why can't he remember? He lies down again since he was feeling quite a lot of pain just from standing up. Then he asks the man that helped him. Where did you find me and in what condition was I in when you found me? Maybe that will give me a clue to what is going on. Jax just frowns in concentration as if trying to remember something. In the end he simply says. I found you in an alley, you were overdosed on drugs, you were also beaten up and almost had a lot of internal bleeding. If I didn't bring you here to do a surgery you might have died. Then Kid looks at his hands not knowing what to do next, not even knowing who he really was, did he have a family? He never suspected that Jax is lying, his confusion and amnesia making him susceptible to Jax. Then the young doctor, Jax, that saved Kid, just gets up and starts walking towards the door, but suddenly he stops and turns around to look at Kid again. His glasses reflecting the light, so from his position Kid couldn't see the look on Jax's eyes. Since you don't remember anything and you are my responsibility now, so you can stay with me and my student until you find your road in life. I don't know what you used to be but, when I found you with all of the drugs in your system and close to death, if you go chasing after your past, be careful of what you look for. Says Jax with a neutral voice but still giving him a warning. Then Jax pulls off his bloody gloves and throws them in the garbage bin next to the exit, and then goes outside of the room. Leaving Kid all alone in the room, with his thoughts. Then as Jax goes outside of his room leaving Kid behind, he can't help but contemplate the previous situation. I definitely don't 100% know how the brain works but, I know where to hit one, to make it 100% clean. I definitely won't be having druggies as my students. They are unreliable and prone to mistakes. I can't have someone like that in my presence. Yes, Jax completely obliterated Kid as a person. Leaving behind only small, or in this case instinctual parts of him behind. Let's see how useful you can be to me. Kid. Thinks Jax, as a smile appears on his face. So like this 15 days pass, Mikasa and Kid both were sitting in the ground meditating with their calm controlled auras flowing through their body though Kid's was a little shaky. Jax is just sitting there and reading a book about the latest medical discoveries. Though Mikasa and Kid always train around the same amount he can't help but compare his progress with Mikasa's. She was already advancing and learning things 10 times faster than him. If it took him 10 days to learn something it took Mikasa just 1, even though he was an adult he couldn't beat her even in physical contests. He couldn't help but hate his past self, even his body would have become a cripple if Jax didn't help him. Purring. Then suddenly an alarm clock rings out. Jax just looks at it and gets up. Goes towards the clock beside his bed and he turns it off. Then he started walking towards the door. When he arrived at the door he told his students. I have my first fight on the 200th floor. You guys can also come and watch it if you want, might learn a thing or two from it. When Jax arrives at the arena he sees that his students have already found seats amongst the spectators. Then as his opponent gets on the arena he has a smile on his face. He is an average built man with one leg. Then the referee says. Start. Immediately Jax uses his new Hatsu and uses in to hide his Hatsu. His opponent uses Nin on his fists and tries to attack Jax. And as soon as he gets close, his eyes just widened and plop. He falls in the ground. When the referee sees this he immediately says. Knockout. Winner Jax. The audience is confused. After all the fights in the 200th floor aren't supposed to be over so quickly, even his students seemed confused at what happened. After the fight when he goes to his room both Mikasa and Kid are confused. Then Kid asks Jax. What was that JA? I mean sensei, how did you defeat him? Jax just looks at Kid and says. Kid, you are around my age, having you call me sensei is weird, also, that was my new Hatsu ability. Then Jax just has a playful smile on his face as he jumps up and starts walking on air. Then he starts floating. They look even more confused now, then Jax just points at his eyes and says. Use Gyo. Mikasa and Kid do so though Kid's Gyo is a little unsteady, and what they see shocked them immensely, and when they saw it they both thought. What even is that? Chapter 19. Title, One Dead. When Mikasa and Kid use Gyo what they see shocked them, it was a dragon head made out of metal. No, it was a dragon head made out of countless needles. Kid and Mikasa couldn't help but think. Amazing, there was so much aura in each of those thin needles that it was crazy. Then Jax makes all of the needles disappear. This was the ability that he made with versatility in mind. He didn't put any conditions on it, he wants to use it as freely as he can. Even though he didn't get any extra power by not putting any restrictions on it. With his strong aura it is quite strong just by itself. Then just like that 2 months passed and Jax has fought 9 other fights on the 200th floor winning them all and becoming a floor master. He didn't get any EXP during this time but, he got very valuable battle experience. Also he used his ability a lot and sometimes even let the fights go on for long just so he can get experience using his Mew Hatsu. He could use his new ability to fly by creating needles in the inside of his shoes or creating a needle platform to travel on. Then Jax thinks of what he could do with his abilities. I can ever create giant needles for big enemies that will be in the Dark Continent when I go there. I can also use them as a shield or even as a type of manipulation method. If I stab someone with a very thin needle in the brain and have them call me sensei and if I have also taught them Nin, they will slowly start becoming loyal to me and think if I as their savior ready to willingly give their life for me. This is not a forceful type of manipulation. This is a very soft way manipulation that is more delicate. I can't immediately force the person to be 100% under my control. But this ability allows the people under my control to grow stronger. I called this gamer's piercing. This is the versatility he was thinking when he created this ability. The Hatsu is also in a way connected to his gamer powers, he has this Hatsu as an app he needs to click on to use. Though he can't use 2 of his Hatsu at the same time, this problem should be fixed once his aura amount raises in level. And as a manipulator out of all the other Nin categories. Manipulators can put the most Nin in an object, this Hatsu will grow the more his Nin amount grows. And just like that 4 more months pass. Jax becomes 22 years old. Kid has already gone on a journey to find himself or such, and Mikasa has gone to take the hunter exam. He had already put needles in their heads and they are already as loyal as they can be. This is my countermeasure plan in case I get a Nem curse or have mine unsealed like Kurapike did to Crollo. Now I have my own people that will go and find me and an exorcist if something like this happened. Then Jax looks at the dinosaur-like beast in front of him, he thinks that if creatures on here are like this, how about the creatures on the Dark Continent, how strong would they be, how much EXP would they even give? Then as the dinosaur comes towards Jax, he just simply conjures a couple of giant needles and skewers the dinosaur one in the head and the other in the middle of its chest. Then after that Jax goes there and touches the dinosaur's dead body while holding his tablet. Fwoosh. Then he turned the dinosaur into EXP. After doing that he clicked the stats app and looked at his stats. Jax Miller. Age, 21. Talent LVL, 10, 0/3200 EXP. EXP, 238. STR LVL, 8, 127/800 EXP. Agi LVL, 8, 248/800 EXP. End LVL, 9, 533/1600 EXP. Nin amount LVL, 9, 396/1600 EXP. He couldn't help it when a smile appeared on his face. With the gamer's piercing Hatsu his killing ability has skyrocketed. He can kill huge numbers of beasts within seconds and he has upgraded his physical stats. His Nin amount is growing naturally and currently he is trying to make his physical stats at least 10 before he enters another state of forced Zetsu. After all he will be raising his physical stats anyway, better do it now than later. Soon after Mikasa and even Kid will become hunters, then after they gain their own accomplishments they will become 1-star hunters, giving me my ticket to become a 2-star. Thinks Jax with a smile on. After all, to become a 2-star the hunter needs to have 1 disciple be a 1-star hunter. Then to become 3-star one must have 2 or more disciples at 1-star level. HxH has also tried countless times hacking the Hunter Association's websites. But even with his level 10 talent and learning hacking, it was as if someone had given his life to hacking. If someone really has given his life as a condition for some type of hacking like non-power, then HxH, MC, POV. I have no chance to beat hackers like them with just raw talent. After all, a life restriction is the strongest and ultimate decision one can make while creating an ability. And even if I have my stats all 10 or even more than that, there is no reason to be careless, especially in this world where raw power isn't everything. 2 years later /MC age 25. I have now become a 2-star hunter. My students already made quite a name for themselves. And, now Kid is dead, the needle was deactivated upon his death. I had the gamer's eye spy on both Kid and Mikasa at all times. During that, I saw that he was killed by a certain group of people that I know. It is true that he has already outlived his usefulness, but I did waste a lot of my time on him, and he was very useful. Also, I kind of want to meet his killers. They are a truly interesting bunch. Chapter 20. Title, Just a Monster. Crollo POV. I just hear Nobunaga and Yuvajin arguing like usual. I look at the warehouse around us. It is a worn-out building and a temporary shelter to us. It's also quite far from even the nearest city, so this is also a good place to hide until our next job. The other members are playing cards while Nobunaga and Yuvajin are arguing about the previous game. I look at the side of the warehouse, and on the wall there are countless glass cases lined up with each of them filled with scarlet eyes. I got a fancy for them when I heard of their beauty. They truly are special, but I have already gotten bored of them. We should start selling them. We have already sold half. I wonder what I shall do with the money. I guess look for a legitimate way to get another Ben's knife. That would be useless during combat, or maybe some ancient book. Knock. 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 I am interrupted from my thought process when I hear a knock on the front door. I look at Maki and she just shakes her head. This warehouse is completely surrounded by strings made from Maki's nin ability. And somehow someone got in. I wonder who it is. Phaeton just goes and opens the door. Creak. When the door is opened, we see a man drenched in rain. He came inside and said, "Oh, thanks guys, I thought I would be stuck outside. Thank God that there were people here. I can't sense any type of aura from him. He is completely normal, or so he seems. He is wearing glasses, has black hair and brown eyes. He is also wearing a black suit with a black collar which seems a size too big for him. He is around 1.85 centimeters tall." Then I look towards Maki again. She has like a sixth sense on these things, a so-called instinct. When I look at her, I see something strange. She is breathing heavily and tears are coming out of her eyes. What? Immediately I asked her. Maki, what is wrong? She just looks at me and says, "I don't know, boss, my body can't move. I have a chill all over. I don't know what is going on. Something is wrong." Yuvajin goes to the intruder and says to him with a serious face, "Sorry, we are at full capacity, pal." Then Phaeton, that was behind the intruder when he opened the door, takes out a knife and uses KO and Shu to concentrate his nin at the tip of the knife, as the knife is going towards the back of the neck of the intruder. Then, plop. An arm falls to the ground. Phaeton's arm fell to the ground, cut off. My eyes widen. My book appears in my hand. I flip it to a page. I immediately teleport Yuvajin at the unguarded side of the intruder. Yuvajin, using his instinct, without even thinking, he immediately punches the intruder in the kidney as Phaeton grabs his cut off arm and jumps back. Then as Yuvajin's punch lands on the intruder, a red aura is concentrated in Yuvajin's other fist. Big bang impact. We immediately jump back to avoid getting in its range. Boom. The warehouse is completely obliterated. All of the members are immediately ready for battle. They are all to my side. I have the book on the same page again and use to bring Yuvajin back to us, but when I bring him back, I notice that his right arm, which he used to attack, is completely twisted like a whirlpool. Maki, on the other hand, has a calm face as she uses her strings and attaches Phaeton's arm back in place. As the smoke and debris clear up, the rain has stopped falling, and we see the figure of our attacker. His upper clothing is all missing and he has a muscular body. It seems like he obviously is a monstrously strong opponent, even above what his musculature might suggest. It seems like the last attack did no harm to him. I just look at our opponent with calm eyes. He truly is a dangerous enemy. Yuvajin then says, "I didn't see his counter-attack at all. We should also be careful of his speed, boss." Then the attacker just looks at us and smiles, and then he says with a normal soft voice while dusting himself, "Ah, what a mess, you guys are really strong. Anyway, nice to meet you all. My name is Jax Miller. And I must repeat, you guys are really strong." When I look at him, I immediately notice a certain tone in his voice. He is toying with us. He has 100% confidence in defeating us. We should immediately retreat. Even if we were able to somehow defeat this monster, we would lose most of our members. We just stay at a standstill waiting for him to make the first move. Maki has already put string traps all around the field already, and Franklin is ready to shoot at any time using his nin ability. If all of this can even slow him enough for Phaeton, Finks, and Bonilino to use their abilities, they are our heavy hitters since Yuvajin's arm is out of commission. Then our enemy, the so-called Jax, if that is even his real name, says in a completely relaxed voice, and he even has a smile on his face, "So ladies and gentlemen, I seem to have lost one of my students. His name is Kid. You wouldn't happen to know where he is, would you?" And then when this Jax released his aura, boom. To me, it seemed as if the world turned grey for a split second. When we felt his aura, it filled me and even the other troop members with abject despair, and that was the moment when we all understood, we need to retreat immediately. To even have a chance to take down a monster of this caliber, you would need an entire nation's military.